Hello everyone, we're about to start. Let me just share the agenda very fast. There you go. Excellent. So, welcome. Hello to all. Thank you all for finding time today to join our event. My name is Angeliki Psychogou and I'm the project manager at the European Vocational Training Association. I will be responsible today for moderating the Dissemination Forum. Today's event is gathering project partners, experts, and the public interested in knowing better the project outcomes. I'm now going to discuss the agenda with you and present you all the information. First of all, we will start with a presentation of the METVET project and its main outputs by Mrs. Katerina Kalaitzaki from the Civitanidis School of Trades and Vocations. Later on, we will have a questions round where you all will be able to participate and ask your questions, followed by a presentation of the Memorandum of Understanding and digital signature by all partners. Finally, we will have a roundtable discussions on the topic of future challenges for the aluminium and metal technicians training. At the end of the official closing, we will show the official METVET video and we will give you further information about the evaluation round of this event. Now I'm going to give the floor to Mrs. Katerina Kalaitzaki from the lead partner, Civitanidis School of Trades and Vocations, who is going to officially open today's forum and present the METVET project and its main outputs. Katerina, the floor is
Thank you,
yours.
Angeliki. Hello, everyone. To begin with, and behalf from all my colleagues from Civitanidis Public School of Trades and Vocation, I would first like to welcome you to METVET's final forum, and thank you all for attending. Of course, we would prefer to be gathered on an actual hall, but as with so many things, we will adapt to the present circumstances and maintain what matters most, which is that we're here today to share beneficial ideas and experience with all of you. Education and training has always been considered one of the cornerstones of international development. Building human capacities has proven a useful tool in alleviating global inequalities, tackling the challenges of the modern world. This is why Civitanidis has decided the past years to invest in capacity building projects, introducing new curricula. METVET is one of them. We are really looking forward for your valuable contribution to our roundtable later on, and we hope that you will all enjoy your presence here today. Okay, let me share my screen with you and start my presentation. Actually, my presentation here today is based on the most important outputs of the METVET project, which is the curriculum, the syllabus, and the certification mechanism that we have developed through the project. METVET was initially created in order to help to achieve the European climate goals and targeted to strengthen green skills. We were working very hard to upgrade from EQF level 4 to EQF level 5. For those of you that are not very familiar to those terms, let me just say that level 5 means that craftsmen and workers of this field will be able to plan, work, decide with autonomy, self-responsibility regarding the materials used and the processes to be followed. I would like now to guide you through the roadmap that we followed these 2 years that we are working on the specific project. The first thing to do was to define a list of joint skills needed that are not currently met by existing trainings concerning the aluminum and metal constructions technicians that correspond, of course, to the EQF level 5. We have collected data, statistics derived from professional associations, industry research and training sector from the partner countries in order to identify existing target groups, training needs, labor skill needs, and regional characteristics on its participating country. Why we did all this? In order to finally create our professional profile. The next step was the development of a curriculum, which covers, among others, novel skills relating to energy saving and environmental protection. Let me say here that METVET project did not aim to revise an existing curriculum, but to design a completely new one aiming to EQF level 5. Such a curriculum does not exist at this point in Europe for the specific sector. Moving on, the innovating teaching methodologies, the syllabus, the minimum lab requirements, the minimum apprenticeships requirements, as much as an evaluation and certification mechanism was created. A qualification standard was also created based on ECVET and ISO 17024. The reason why we used this standard, as I will explain below, was because it is an international standard recognized not only within the European Union's borders, but worldwide. We couldn't, of course, ignore the need of providing to all interested organizations a path to exploit the METVET's work. Therefore, we have also described exploitation path and supporting documents. The aim, going back and say a few more things concerning the curriculum, the aim of this joint curriculum, and by saying joint, it means that our proposal is that this curriculum can't be applied, can't be used within all Europe, was to upgrade knowledge to horizontal, green, and vertical skills, change the culture, and assimilate a new way of organizing, working, and implementing new practices and tools, always having in mind environmental protection and adaptation of enterprises in the new conditions of international competition. The objective of our curriculum, the objectives of our curriculum is based on knowledge, skills, and competencies, always linked with the need of the market, reinforcing mobility within the EU labor market, technical knowledge, skills, and competencies for the construction, installation, and maintenance of technically sound and environmental friendly green aluminum and metal constructions, and new developments and changes such as energy saving concepts and product safety such as CE marking. Always having into considerations to meet EU goals for the climate change and the energy savings. The structure of the METVET joint curriculum is based on learning modules. The curriculum is divided in 5 learning modules. Each module is a course that, together with other related courses, can constitute a particular area of specialization. Each unit or module is a measured part of an external learning experience leading to a specific qualification or qualifications. Each one aims at developing a clearly identifiable and certifiable portion of the curriculum expressed in terms of competence objectives. This is why later on we develop also the certification mechanism. As you can see in the specific diagram, each learning, the curriculum is based in 5 different learning modules, and each learning module is consisted of different learning outcomes. Of course, each learning outcomes afterwards is connected, is linked with the specific learning units of the curriculum. We have measured the duration of each learning module and each learning outcome, and we have proposed specific hours of training in theory and in practice. The same thing is also done by learning module, proposing to the trainers of the course, proposing to the educational institutions that are going to adopt our course, how they can spend their time and how to measure the minimum hours that need to be spent per training module adapted. The innovative teaching methodologies involve specific schemes of training methodologies per learning module. For example, for learning module 3, concerning the production of aluminum constructions, different methodologies that we propose to the trainers in order to succeed best the training outcomes. The syllabus of the course is, at least from my point of view, the most difficult and most important document that we have created. Let me just open it through my screen just to give you a short presentation of it. It's actually like a book. Okay. Within you will find information concerning the curriculum, all learning modules, and in each and every different module, you will find information, for the teacher, and later on for the trainees. At the end of each learning module, let me go to the end of the first learning module. You will also find, it's big, sorry. You will also find self-assessment questions and tests that the trainee may take in order to test if he has achieved the, let's say, the outcomes expected. Okay. We have also developed through METVET the minimum apprentices requirements in order to provide a full training experience, which includes the role of SMEs in apprentices, best practices followed at least until now in apprentices schemes, the design, how to design an apprenticeship course, company-based training, teaching methods, and quality of company-based trainings. Finally, an evaluation and examination mechanism was created. This mechanism is consisted of two parts. The first one is the theoretical one, the theoretical examination, and the second one is the practical one. The theoretical part consists of multiple choice questions of graded difficulty per learning module. That means that we are creating a test with a set of questions per learning module with graded difficulty. And the second part, the practical one, is consisted of defined practice scenarios with specific implementation stages and assessment criteria under job working conditions, using material, equipment, personal protective equipment, etc. That if a trainee successfully completes later on and through the certification scheme that we have created, may be certified. As I said before, the qualification standard was based on the, besides METVET, the international standard ISO 17024. This document contains information and provides to candidates and certified professionals all necessary information about their qualification, certification procedure. It defines the aluminum and metal constructions technical professional profile, and it describes in details the examination mechanism for the certification of the knowledge, the skills, and the competencies of the specific professionals. Finally, and because I don't want to spend a lot of time through my presentation, I want to give the floor to you through our roundtable to exchange information and discuss outputs. I have to say that we have described the possible scenarios for the exploitation of our course. 3 different scenarios. The first one is specifically for the initial VET, while the rest 2 for the continuous VET. And as Barbara later on will describe through her speech, all of them using through a different way the curriculum of METVET, all of them through examination lead to the certification of the technicians. Thank you all. And if you don't have any questions for me, I will pass my speech to Angeliki.
Thank you, Katerina. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing presentation. Now we will have a questions and answers round. So if you have any questions, I invite you either to raise your hand to get the floor, or you can write them on the chat. So Katerina and the rest of the project partners can answer them. Please go ahead. Okay, I see there are no questions. Let's give it another minute in case there is any questions. And then if not, we can move on to the next topic, which is the Memorandum of Understanding. Okay, I believe we can continue. Okay, now I will give the floor to Barbara Archeso from NAIPNet, who is going to present shortly the next part of the meeting. I will share my screen and I will scroll down based on the presentation of Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. We can now begin.
Okay, thank you very much, Angeliki. Okay, now following to the information that Katerina already provided in her presentation, we wanted to have a curriculum and syllabus that is further exploited. This is also one of the objectives of the project. Of course, we want to provide more sustainability to project results. And what we did was to draw a memorandum of understanding, which will be at first drawn and subscribed by the project partners, but it is potentially extended to other organizations that didn't participate in this project as active parts, but might be interesting in exploring how this curriculum and syllabus can be used in each specific context. Therefore, we took advantage of the models prepared for METVET mobility and work-based learning scenarios, and adapted the templates of METVET Memorandum of Understanding for the specific purposes of this project, which is obviously in the framework of a certification of the competencies achieved through the a training based on the curriculum and syllabus of the METVET project. Therefore, first of all, let me indicate the main objectives of this document, which is to define the cooperation framework between institutions in order to build mutual trust. So, and then define the signatories' common principles on which the relation and the Memorandum of Understanding are based. What does this mean? It means that we all recognize the importance of keeping the objectives, and when I mean objectives, I also intend what the results of the training will be for the trainees who will take on the part in the training. I mean the learning outcomes which are envisaged with the training. And so if you can scroll a little bit down, maybe we come to the point of the scenarios that we have that Caterina already mentioned. The METVET curriculum and syllabus were designed in a flexible way so that they can be either taken as a whole, so with the 5 learning modules that are foreseen for the complete training, and which correspond to an initial VET scenario. What does this mean? We can have young participants, young trainees, with an EQF level 4 at start, and young people who want to have a specific EQF level 5 qualification, which opens to let's say more responsible jobs and more autonomous jobs. But on the other hand, we can have also adult employees from the sector, or even professionals who want to upgrade their competencies, and in this case they can either choose the complete training with the 5 modules, or, and this is also the interesting thing of this curriculum, they can choose the specific learning modules and learning outcomes that need to be upgraded. In this case, they can have a shorter training depending on the initial situation and what they have to strengthen. And in any case, in all, let's say, in both scenarios and in all 3 options, if the trainee wants to take the exams, the exams will be the same in all cases in order to get the certification. As far as the third option is concerned, which is in the case we have a shorter training, the trainee may also choose not to take the exams, but they all must be aware that certification will be achieved only if they take the exams. Okay, you can go down, please. Thank you very much, Angeliki. So, as I was saying, this is the basis. These are the scenarios, and the basis of for the Memorandum of Understanding are the curriculum. Sorry. So, in any case, we have to annex to the Memorandum of Understanding what is the metrics of the learning outcomes, because it's very important that in case we draw a memorandum of understanding with an organization outside the partnership, which is not the case today, because we are all agreeing that we want to exploit this product. Yes, we have to mention in the annex the learning outcomes that are associated with the qualification, and all possible other annexes that might be needed, like Europass certificate supplement, a competence provide certificate, etc., etc. They are all mentioned in this memorandum of understanding, although they are not ticked in this specific one. But as I was saying, this is a template that we prepared specifically for the exploitation of the curriculum and syllabus of the METVET project. So I will now leave the floor to Angeliki again, and if there are major questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Barbara, for your insightful presentation. I will give 2 minutes for questions. If there are any questions about the Memorandum of Understanding, please, you can either raise your hand or you can write your question in the chat. Okay, it seems there are no questions. Everything is very clear. Thank you again, Barbara. We will now start the official signing process of the Memorandum of Understanding. I will invite each organization that they will sign the Memorandum of Understanding, and then they will have 1 short minute, half a minute, to make a short statement about how they support this Memorandum of Understanding. Let's start by Katerina Kalaitzaki from the Sivitanidios Public School of Trades and Vocations. Katerina, you can now sign the document, and I give you the floor as well to give your statement.
Okay, thank you all again. We are really proud as Sivitanidios institution to say that, of course, with the help of the other colleagues, the other partners through the in this project, we would be glad, of course, to participate in this effort, and after, of course, developing the course in Greece, whether it is in the initial education road or whether it is on the continuous one, to work with our colleagues and exchange trainees in terms of theory of the course. I mean, participating in classes within the other participating countries, or find also some ways of mobility exchanges through maybe K1 projects or any other types of ideas that we can find in the future. But for us, it is important, and we are proposing to the rest of the partners the idea to think the idea of issuing, let's say, when somebody fulfills the course in Greece, for example, to also, besides the certificate getting from Sivitanidios School, to also get a certificate from NAIP or from IFB in Germany. I think we can later on also discuss the technicalities of this proposal, but we are strongly committed as an organization in using the outcomes of this course in collaboration with all and the rest of our partners. Thank you very much all.
Thank you, Katerina. I now invite Ilias Georgopoulos from METVET. You can now sign, and then I give you the floor as well for your statement.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. I wish I would be with you before, because I see now that you are very, very nice and fruitful and how to say productive team. And I wish Vasilis had let me being with you all the time that the project was implemented. So as a newcomer, and after communicating with Vasilis, I want to say that Imei gladly participated in this project and all the activities, and we gladly will sign this MOU, and we will be at your disposal for the future. I'm sorry, I cannot go further because I don't know the essential topics of the project. Thank you very much.
Now I invite Stelios Labrakopoulos from POVAS. You can go ahead and sign the Memorandum of Understanding, and then you can have your statement as well.
Hello to everyone. I represent the Pan-Hellenic Federation of the Greek manufacturers of aluminium and metal sector. We participate in this project, in this special effort for the last 2 years. Our major target is to improve the knowledges, the skills and the competences, especially the green skills, for the technicians, for all the human resources, for all the humans, the technicians that works in the aluminium and the metal constructions sector, especially in Greece. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stelio. Now I invite Barbara Archesso from METVET. You can go ahead and sign, and then you can have your statement as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Angeliki. And well, I join Stelios in saying that we saw that there was much in the project when we joined the partnership, and which is, and particularly with regard to green skills, which are a very important topic in the political agenda, but I would say in everybody's lives, because I think that this signs the future pathway in the forthcoming programming period of the European Union, and also in our national context. So I'm very happy that we could provide new qualification perspectives in a sector which is, at least in Italy, not very well and properly qualified, but which is crucial in the national economy, and I would also say at European level in the European economy. So I hope that we will have further possibilities, and also I hope that, and we are actually committed to explore into all opportunities for exploiting the results of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. I now invite my colleague, Giulia Meschino, from our organization, European Vocational Training Association. The floor is yours, Giulia.
Thank you, Angeliki, and good morning to everyone. I'm very happy to be here today, and I join all thoughts that all my colleagues from the other organizations had on this project, this very interesting project. EFTA played a slightly different role due to the nature of our organization. We are a network representing BET providers at the European level. So our role in the project was mainly trying to ensure that the results were enough spread all over Europe, and try to pass the message of the project. I hope that our work on dissemination was fruitful for sharing the message of the METVET project. We are very, very excited about the fact that we managed to achieve this important result of signing the Memorandum of Understanding between us. And as AFTAO, we will continue to give visibility to the project, to give, to pass the message of the project, because we really believe that these represent one of the good practices that our network can really spread all over, not only the network itself, but also all over the partners and all over the European institutions that we, with which we work together on daily basis. So I really thank you all the partners here, and I really thank Katerina as leader of the project, and I hope that we will have occasions and opportunities to follow up with the project and with the topics of this METVET project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia. Now I invite our colleague from IFP World, Fritz Kuhn. You can go ahead and sign, and then you can have your statement. Please, the floor is yours.
So, hello everybody. It was a great pleasure for us to be part of this consortium, developing an occupational profile that is not existing at the moment, but what we saw that it was needed to make something more than the normal, because we looked for level 5 European qualifications framework, a very big challenge to do. But if you really look at the requirements in the world of work, the most of the requirements are on this level 5, because there is some autonomy, there is decision making, and there is a lot of requirements to the workforce, which is not normal on the level 3 and the level 4. Therefore, I am proud we did it, and we came to an end with this level 5 occupational profile with this syllabus and the curriculum. And I think we will work on this, especially on several modules, to upgrade from normal level to this goal, level 5. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fritz. And finally, we have our colleague Vivi Vardalahu from TUV Austria Hellas. You can go ahead and sign the memorandum, and then please go ahead for your statement.
We are very pleased because we participated productively in METVET project, and we believe with this signature and with the support of all involved partners, and not only with them, we will exploit it more effectively the project results. Thank you all of you for this fruitful cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivi. Our next partner, associated partner, Εθνικός Οργανισμός Πιστοποίησης Προσόντων και Επαγγελματικού Προσανατολισμού, EOPEP, will sign the memorandum at a later stage. At this moment, I'm going to save the document. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, excellent. A big thank you to all the partners. I have saved the document and it will be shared with all the project partners following the end of this call. Now I invite all of you to open your cameras so we can take a commemorative picture screenshot for the end of the project. Let's just give it a second for everyone to open their cameras.
Angeliki, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before everybody opens his cameras, I would like to say we would all like to wish Vasily, who is not here with us today because he was ill, and our colleagues from EOPEP, we wish them the best. And of course, we hope to see them later on.
Thank you, Katerina. I will now take the picture, so smile. Thank you very much all. Now I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Nikos Vourdas, who is from the project partner Pan-Hellenic Federation of Craftsmen in Aluminium and Metal Constructions, who is going to moderate the next part of our agenda, which is the roundtable discussion on the topic of future challenges for the aluminium and metal technicians training. Please, Nico, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Angeliki. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This roundtable to be very interesting. Can you see my screen, Angeliki? Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. So the subject of this roundtable is future challenges for the aluminium and metal technicians training, not only within the METVET, as these have been already addressed, but also beyond METVET. So what is needed to be defined first in order to discuss on these challenges, have somehow summarized some of these particular issues that should be discussed in order for the challenges to evolve and to be discussed. These are some representative. Of course, we can discuss other issues also. The process will be that I will say some few words about this, and I will pass the phone to some METVET partners first, and then we expect from all of you to actively participate. So please prepare your statements, your questions maybe for the next 20-25 minutes. So if there is something to be changed in the training, something else has to be changed first. Maybe we expect new policies from the EU, new strategies, new limitations, how the market will evolve in the next years, maybe more to renovation compared to new buildings. What do we expect the company size to be? More small companies or small, medium companies? How this distribution will be throughout the EU? Is the case? Is the same case in Greece? Is the same case in Italy, in Germany, in France, wherever? Do we expect new characteristics for the materials? Do we expect new products, new properties? Maybe the automation will have a more strong impact on the performance. What we expect from a technician for the next periods? We cannot make him do everything. Be at the same time a technician working on the bench, cutting and drilling and doing the same at the same time, an engineer kind of work. So where this will finally end. So another critical aspect is the certification requirements. Of course, if we expect that we will have changes in the certification processes and updating kind of certification planning. So maybe the training, this is a challenge for the training of technicians. And of course, the training characteristics itself, how now we are in the coronavirus period, of course, but is the distance learning, would we expect this to continue? What about the compared to the initial VET compared to the continuous VET? How this balance will, where this will balance between them? These are some issues that maybe need to be discussed in order to address the challenges for the training of the material of the aluminium and metal constructions technicians. So the process, as I said before, is to start with METVET partners, and then we expect from all of you to actively participate. So maybe we can start with Stelios Labrakopoulos from the Federation of Aluminium and Metal Constructions. and ask him what is his opinion, what is his statement. Do we expect new policies, new certification requirements that will eventually require new training framework? Stelios?
Nikos, okay. Yes, I believe that we will have new policies in the near future. We also have new policies that are going to be implemented in the next 1-2 years, such as near zero energy buildings regulations all over Europe. It is the EU, the European Union, expects a lot of the building sector, because the building sector in our days represents almost 40% of the final energy consumption, and that it makes the building sector the largest end user sector in the EU. I would like to mention that the household sector consumes more than 25% of the total energy in our days. And this leads to trends, and in order to renovate a lot of the existing building stock, according to the EU goals for the Paris Agreement for the climate change, in EU we expect that in the year 2050, about 90% of the existing building stocks is estimated to continue to exist. While the new constructions, the new buildings, the construction of new buildings will remain very low. The annual rate of new construction is about 1.5%. So the only way for the European Union to eliminate the energy consumption of the building sector is to go to new renovation, to a large renovation program. Moreover, for our sector, for the aluminium construction sector, for windows and doors, we have some new standards, let's say, that will go for the optional, that nowadays is optional. I speak about energy labeling in windows. In nowadays, in 11 countries, there is optional to put an energy label on the window. It's going to be the next year, next some years, 2 or 3, it will be in the mandatory. It will be mandatory. So these two specific aspects, the new zero energy buildings and the energy labeling in the windows, I believe that we will change our sector, and we will need new knowledges, new skills, and new competences for the technicians in our sector. Thank you.
Okay, so I wrote down some very interesting numbers from you, Stelios. 25% of the energy, of the total energy consumption, is on the household. And as you said, that in the near future, the near zero energy building is expected to expand more in order to somehow minimize this number. So a question that maybe is generated is products that we have now in the market. I mean, from the systems, from the companies that create the profiles, are able to accommodate, are able to support these targets, or do we expect to have a differentiation? Do we expect to have new products, new properties in the near future that, of course, will demand a new training for the technicians. Nikos Keramidas, could you comment on this? You are from such an industry, so maybe you can help us on this.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
So, I believe that the issues are interrelated. I mean, the market prospect, the company size, the product characteristics. All this issue is we can see together. I mean, so actually, the profession of manufacturer of metal windows and doors has changed because European legislation and policy has changed, both for material and for environmental. So. I will present in 1 minute the relevant legislation for a framed building so that it is easier to understand the continuation of our discussion. For example, regarding the fenestration product, legislation governing the product manufactured by the company in the sector is the European regulation, the CE, let's say. So today the manufacturer must comply with the requirement of the CE market and also the requirement that will be applied the product to products of the sector is that the energy labeling also. Regarding the environment, the existing data and the objective of the European Union is the energy saving 30% by 2030, because building consume a very significant percent, as Stelios said. So the goal is also a 14% reduction in greenhouse gas emission in 2030, compared to 1919. So regarding the building also, is applicable the European Directive for New Zero Energy Building, and this is very important for the new construction, but that is the new building will not consume energy for heating and cooling. So that is, they must have frame that perform very well. This is the current legislation, a policy. So that means that from the other side, the buildings in Europe are old, making before 1977, let's say before the law on mandatory insulation came into force. According to a special report from the Commission European, needs 35 million building renovation to meet its climatic change target, which will create about 1,016 new jobs. So this new is very important for our sector. From the next 10 years about 2030. So from the other hand, the total number of residential buildings, for example, in Germany, are about 19 million, and for those, the 18.4% should be renovated. The same in Italy, there are about 12 million of residential buildings, and for those, the half of those should be renovated. In Greece, as you know very well, it's about 70.5 million of residential buildings, and for those, the 17% should be renovated. So let's say in Greece, for example, every year they should renovate around 15,000 buildings, and for the next 10 years, let's say about 500,000 buildings, only in Greece. So Europe needs 35 million building renovation to meet its climatic change targets, according to a special report from the Commission. So speaking of aluminium and iron construction company, Nikos, in general, the aluminium and metal construction sector consists of many small companies in Greece. Let's say in Greece we have 5,300. For those, the 4,500 are very small. In Italy, we have about 20,000 companies, which there are also very small companies. While in Germany, they are about 3,000, but in Germany, those are small, medium, and large companies. Okay. the above legislation requires frame with very good energy performance. This is the matter. So that is why many new architectural fenestration systems have been designed with special component and technical processing in order to have the desired result in performance. Because new systems are more complex to fabricate. Training is required for craftsmen in order to fabricate the system. Training is in all skills categories. I mean, no, also in the technical, classic technical skills. I mean, to know how to cut, how to assemble, etc. But in all the kind of the skills, vertical or horizontal skills. This is the reason why the curriculum in METVET was formed, to upgrade the skills of craftsmen, to cope with the latest development in the European Union in legislation and technology. This is my opinion for this matter.
Okay, thank you, Nikos. Please prepare your questions, your statements. Actually, I see that we have one question, one statement already in the chat. It has to do with the NCP and the EQF. So maybe it is a good time to ask maybe Katerina Kalaitzaki about the training characteristics, the challenges that has to do with the training characteristics, related to maybe to us to answer the question from Mr. Hans Dahle, if I pronounce it well. Katerina?
Okay, I will try to answer, though I'm not an expert on the subject. First of all, let me tell you a few things concerning the national coordination points. On behalf of Greece, we have as an associated partner within the project the national organization concerning the certification of all craftsmen and technicians in Greece. Therefore, speaking for Greece, yes, we have engaged them, let's say, in this procedure in order to link through a specific process the qualifications that we have acknowledged within the national framework. I know that, as we have discussed it also with other colleagues from Italy and from Germany, that the system is a little bit different that way. This is why I can't speak from their side. What I can say is that according to the call of the project, what we did is that we prepared specific documents for the national organizations in case they wish to follow, let's say, within their own processes, the engagement of those qualifications to the national frameworks. But I can't speak specifically for Germany and Italy. I don't know if for this matter, Barbara or Fridge have more information to be given. But the guideline that we are proposing through this project is a specific way that each national organization can use in order to engage this outcome to national profiles. Let me go on to the question.
Also there is a question about the level of 3 or 4. That
let me. There is no European NCP for the EQF, so it has been done separately in every country. Or do you consider it as international?
To interrupt, yes.
Yes, Barbara.
You can speak as well. Please take the floor if you want to address something.
Of course, yes. He has answered. Mr. Dahle?
Yes, the question is about your claiming that is level 5. And that's difficult because there's no European organization you can go to and ask of them. So you have to go to every country to ask, can you put it on level 5? And then you need a complete program. It can be non-formal, etc. But I agree. If you have the documents and you can take the documents with you and go in your own country and say, okay, I want to have it officially linked to level 5. But I've been also for a long time involved in welding, DNV, the Netske Veritas from Norway. So I had the same project like this. It was very difficult because the world's always changing, the labor market changing. So you have to change your program and then you have to go back every time to link it if it's still level 5. So the solution was there's an international organization maybe for the metal industry, and then they can control or are involved in to actualization to make it updated, etc. So this was my question. So if you claim it has to be European qualifications 5, that's difficult because there's no European organization. So you have to be careful about that. So if you're communicating, etc., about documents, tell them that you can take all your documents, go to your national coordination point, or to your employers organizations involved in metal industry. We have that in the Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands.
Okay.
So they have a level 5, but that's officially higher education. It's short cycle higher education. So a lot of discussions. But it's interesting, this project. So you have all those documents and you can take them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Nikos.
Yes, I wanted to ask about how did they address this problem in the welding sector? Did they link to international organization? What is the expert knowledge that we can?
Oh, you asked about the welding sector, you mean?
Yes.
It was 10 years ago. So, and that we had also for the cable industry in Turkey, in the Netherlands, it was a project for it. It's really difficult. Yeah. So at the end, they said, leave it. And also the discussion here, the employers, and I mentioned it also, the employers want to have their workers, the employees updated. They don't care about the level. They want to have a program that is fitting in that what they want. It's level 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't care.
You don't care.
If the learning outcomes are the most. So if you have the communicating about this project, I said, okay, you can use it, but focus on the learning outcomes. To make them, have a network. You have 4 or 5 countries now. Maybe ask other countries, join them, and said you can use these documents, but for your own national situation. But you feed them from one central point what is needed, because you have labor migration, people working from one country to another country. That was in the welding sector. So it was not possible to have a document with the qualifications and the learning outcomes that you can bring to the national coordination point. But the discussion showed that it's important to have a network, to stick together. That's my message.
So the take-home message is to have this network, as we discuss here, active in order to be able to handle all the challenges ahead. Okay, Fritz, could you comment on this?
Yes, I would like to have just a little comment to what Hans Dahle said. At the beginning, I also wondered why we go to level 5. But I think it's also a question of estimation of the professional profile or of the exam or of the diploma I have. If I have a diploma with level 5, it's nearer to some engineer or something academic than the level 4. So level 4 today is also very, very ambitious to reach. And so we decided, okay, we take the level 5, but we know it will be hard to be accepted in all the countries. To look more for the content, for the results, and for the capabilities you have after having done these courses. So level 5 is just, it is an important point for the one who passes the exam, for the one who learns this profession for a special purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Fritz. Thank you. Katerina, would you like to comment on this?
Yes, I would like to say, grabbing, you know, from the things that Mr. Dahle said, this is why eventually we decided through our exploitation plan to create the two different paths, because we exactly had in mind what you described, the difficulty of reaching national agency. So what we try to do is offer, let's say, the market within Europe, the possibility of actually exploiting the learning outcomes described within this course. Of course, we offered the, let's say, in terms of EQF and the other things that the European agency is paying for this project, but we try to give also extra paths for the actual market. This is what parts 2 and 3 of the exploitation of this plan is about. And let me tell you that the truth is that during these 2 years, because we have been working in this project for 2 years, is not enough in order for the consortium to finalize everything. I can't, I have to say that we, of course, are thinking of asking for extra funding to continue the project, implement it, because it is important before taking any decision to implement what we have designed. We didn't have the opportunity to do it in this short period of time. So yes, I agree totally with what you've said. Building networks in the specific cluster is very important, and we will, of course, follow your suggestion on that. Just to say a few things about the comments concerning EQA-VET. Yes, it is important, but it mainly has to do with how different VET systems are using these courses. So we haven't reached that level yet. Maybe if we applied for a new project and we enter the stage of implementing it, yes, we will also follow guidelines of the ECVET concerning the quality, let's say, for the implementation of the training. But at the moment, no, I have to say that it is not properly designed to be offered.
Okay, so maybe one of the conclusions that can be drawn from the previous discussion is that the world is changing, so we need to change also the curriculum. This is true, of course, and actually this is the subject of the of this roundtable. So the floor is open to everybody else on this meeting to maybe have a statement or a question or a comment on something. It is very valuable. It will be very valuable for us.
Maybe I asked.
Yes.
I'm back again.
Yes.
Yes. I asked also. You are mentioning in the quality assurance procedures ECVET, the European Credit for Vocational Education Training. You know, level 5 is close to higher education. They have credits, European credits. But there's also the quality assurance VET system, EQUAVET. So a colleague of mine was attending the meeting last Monday, and Thursday, there's a lot to do about how to ensure the quality in vocational education training, also for upskilling, like I mentioned in level 5. So then you're on the crossroads with higher education, etc. So I was looking at your document, but is European, the EQUAVET system, also part of your project, or has it been, or do you have recommendations for that, how to use it?
Okay. No, it is not a part of the project. It wasn't included, let's say, in our initial planning. But if we are going to apply for the METVET 2, let's say, project in the future, which will also include the implementation of the course, yes, then we will have to adapt it and create specific guidelines according to EQAVET. But at the moment, no, it is not included.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because you are talking about welding project, and in that time there were NEN norms. It was ISO and NEN. So if you're talking about quality assurance in higher education or in FED, employers say, what do you mean? We have our own standards. So it's always difficult to have this clash. So that's why I'm saying learning outcomes, maybe have the ISO and NEN, etc. And then maybe try to have mixing with what's happening in formal education. So it's everywhere we notice in level 5, the discussion. The labor market, we are focusing on professional vocational education. The labor market is completely different in organizing training, in company training, having business academies. So they had it in Turkey and in the welding sector also. So, okay, that's a remark about quality assurance.
Thank you.
Okay.
May I say a couple of things with this regard?
Yes, Barbara, thank you, yes.
Thank you. I don't completely agree with what Mr. Dale is saying about EQF level 5, and I would like to draw your attention to the experience we are doing in Italy with the so-called ITS. This is vocational training, normally of over 1,000 hours, including a good part of work-based learning, which means done in cooperation with companies, long traineeship with companies. But the most important thing is that this EQF level 5, because this is the case, is the result of agreements between employers and schools and universities that are cooperating in order to define the professional profiles and the competencies with the corresponding levels. So this is a qualification which is recognized and is very, very important on the labor market because, first of all, they have more responsibility and they are not engineers because they have no academic qualification, obviously, but it's something very close to it. And it's and I must say that we have nearly 90% employment after the achievement of the qualification of such a course, which means that the labor market, and I would say the employers, do appreciate this type of qualification. So I understand the objections of Mr. Dale, but I also would like to say that it's also important to stress that people need to be qualified, that need, I would say, quality training, qualified training, that is true, but it's important to stress this part, because otherwise you can say that I don't know, maybe certificate from the producer of Windows is like the qualification or the certification released by a recognized school in the school system, or even such course as I was mentioning. It is not the case, I would say. It's very important to stress it.
Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, from my point of view, this is two different things here. The education from a company point of view on the particular products, an education, an overview of the education for principles for, in any case, in a quality assurance framework. Maybe do have another questions? I'm not quite sure if I see the chat here.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If there are no other questions, we give it 2 minutes. I hate to cut it down, the round table, but we're almost out of time.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Angeliki. The floor is yours. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all of you for your participation.
Thank you all for this fruitful conversation, and thank you, Nico, for moderating. Great job. This concludes today's event. Thank you all for attending. We hope you have learned more and enjoyed the discussions around the METVET project. Before closing the Dissemination Forum, I would like first of all to request from our participants that have joined but have not yet completed the registration form to do so, basically for organizational reasons. I will put the direct link on the chat. Just give me a second. And I thank you to do it just right after this call. Secondly, following this meeting, the METVET project team will be sending out by email an evaluation form for this meeting. I kindly ask you to take 5 minutes and complete it. Finally, before closing the meeting, we would like to show you the official METVET promotional video. So allow me just a second to share my screen. And please enjoy the video.
Welcome to METVET, an Erasmus Plus project co-founded by the European Union under Civitanidis Public School of Trades. METVET's scope is to increase young people's employability, encourage mobility of future workers, and establish a close collaboration between the education world and the world of work.
Το METVET γεννήθηκε στη Civitanidis σχολή όταν διαπιστώσαμε τις ανάγκες της ελληνικής και ευρωπαϊκής αγοράς για εκπαιδευμένους τεχνίτες κατασκευών αλουμινίου και σιδήρου. Έτσι, ενώσαμε τις δυνάμεις μας με φορείς από την Ελλάδα και την υπόλοιπη Ευρώπη και δημιουργήσαμε ένα ολοκληρωμένο πρόγραμμα με στόχο την εξοικονόμηση ενέργειας, τη μείωση των απορριμμάτων και την αύξηση της ενεργειακής απόδοσης του κτηριακού δυναμικού. Εργαλεία μας: η εκπαίδευση και επιστοποίηση του ανθρώπινου δυναμικού σε νέες τεχνολογίες, διεργασίες και υλικά.
The 7 partners, coming from Greece, Germany, Italy and Belgium, represent different stakeholders, contribute and share knowledge and experiences.
METVET project aims to create a high-level VET course leading to an EQF level 5 degree in metal and aluminium construction. The curriculum was developed internationally and contains the essentials from Italian, German and Greek occupational profiles enriched with green and digital skills. It follows international standards, regulations and certification frameworks. Innovative teaching and training methods meet the requirements of future-oriented VET. IFB has proudly participated in this ambitious international project.
Το METVET είναι ένα ευρωπαϊκό διακρατικό πρόγραμμα το οποίο έχει σκοπό την αναβάθμιση των δεξιοτήτων του ανθρώπινου δυναμικού που εργάζεται στον κλάδο των δομικών κατασκευών αλουμινίου και σιδήρου. Το εκπαιδευτικό υλικό το οποίο θα συγκεντρωθεί θα είναι προς διάθεση σε όλους τους φορείς εντός της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης. Ο κλάδος των δομικών κατασκευών αλουμινίου και σιδήρου προσμένει πολλά από το METVET με δεδομένο ότι οι ανάγκες εκπαίδευσης του εργατικού δυναμικού είναι μεγάλες.
European cooperation in VET should always take under consideration the rich diversity of national systems and stakeholders in European member states. The METVET project has definitely succeeded in this aspect by involving not only sectoral organizations and VET providers from various countries, but also an European network organization. As a representative of both METVET and the European Vocational Training Association, EVTA, I can say with confidence that METVET's success was primarily based on the flexible approach the partnership followed, in terms of sharing experiences and working towards common goals.
The expansion of national qualification systems, which allow qualifications to be acquired through different learning pathways, suggests that more than ever before, the learning provision quality assurance cannot be the only element underpinning the awarding of qualifications.
Όλοι εμείς οι Διφόστρια είμαστε χαρούμενοι και περήφανοι που μέσω του έργου METVET παραδίδουμε μια ευρωπαϊκή μέθοδο αξιολόγησης για τους τεχνίτες κατασκευών σιδήρου και αλουμινίου, η οποία εκπληρώνει τις απαιτήσεις του προτύπου ISO 17024. Γιατί η πιστοποίηση είναι πολιτισμός με τη σφραγίδα της Διφόστρια.
SMEs need a skilled workforce that is able to keep up with technological, social, business and design innovations. Policymakers and stakeholders at national and EU level recognize the strong importance of the work-based learning with the necessary involvement of SMEs in addressing difficulties during the transition phase from education to work.
Σε βέβαιος η φωνή των μικρών και μεσαίων επιχειρήσεων δεν θα μπορούσε να απουσιάζει από το συγκεκριμένο πρόγραμμα. Το έργο περιλαμβάνει εκείνα τα χαρακτηριστικά των σύγχρονων εφαρμογών και τις επιθυμητές συνθήκες εκπαίδευσης στον χώρο εργασίας, εξασφαλίζοντας και αποτελεσματικότητα αλλά και ποιότητα.
Επισκεφτείτε μας στο metvet.eu και μείνετε συντονισμένοι μαζί μας.
Okay, we hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you all once again and take care during these difficult times. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye to you all.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.